evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. Tonight's guest is a very special guest. She goes by the name of Dr. Heather Larkin. Dr. Larkin has been on my show a couple of times. And matter of fact, when she came on my show, I got the most reviews I've ever received. I think it was 4.6 thousand views. And she has a lot to say. She's doing some great things with mindset performance, and she got some new things coming on the way. And I want to give you the opportunity to discuss them. And I mean, she's doing some great things. So while we're waiting for her, I guess I just want to talk about, what's going on. Right now, what's going on is we have the NBA in full force. We got the playoff implications. We got all kind of things going on. MVP, all kind of other situations going on with the NBA tanking. We got so many damn things, and the game is becoming very interesting. Players are taking some time off. We got to talk about the Lakers. We can have so much to talk about. But tonight, my second guest will be Mr. Mike Patton. Mike Patton is I guess a reporter. He does a journalist. He does everything with the AFC South of the NFL. And the last time he was on my show, he said, "Hey, look, I can talk some NBA as well." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna call you to it." So I told him I'd give him a call, and he'll be coming on hopefully around 7:30. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for Dr. Larkin, again, she came on my show twice before. And it was a big hit, and she's so energetic, and she really cares about the youth. And I thought that was important for her to come on and talk about all the great things that she's doing and will be doing in the near future. But I'll give you a little bit if I can. She's doing mindset performance and so many things. And now she has, in conjunction and partners with the Boston Red Sox, as well as the Wareham Gatemen. And she's involving them as well. And, it's a real important thing because last week I had Mike Semio on, and, we talked about his youth, and we talked about the mindset and how important the mind is. And of course, when we think back, I remember when I was a young kid, I never thought about no mindset performance or anything like that. I just dealt with it, you know what I mean? And but I think sometimes when you have the resources that the youth have nowadays, it's can definitely be a benefit to athletes, coaches, players, trainers, and anybody, because, I think we're all in this together. And I think that when you have the support, and we all know about that ride home, and we discussed that. So, as a matter of fact, she's the one that brought it to my attention. My parents didn't have a car, so I didn't have to worry about no ride home. And my parents never went to any of my games, so I didn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? But I put enough pressure on myself to be able to withstand the pressures of playing sports at a young age. And I just dealt with it. I enjoyed the game so much that it really wasn't a problem for me. But I think if I had those resources, I probably would have took advantage of it. And, who knows what would have happened if I had those resources. So again, we're waiting for Dr. Heather Larkin. She is, she's very special in what she does. She really cares about the youth. And what's good about her, besides being a doctor, she played the game. So she knows about the ins and outs, the pressures of playing sports, and, having that responsibility and to be accountable in all those things. And I'm just waiting for her to come on. Me, I can talk all night, but I'm just waiting for her to come on. So again, I guess I'll talk about what I know best, which is the NBA. There's been some critique of Stephen A. Smith in regards to LeBron James. And I guess on this morning's show, he talked about that LeBron James might be the GOAT as far as longevity is concerned, which I have to agree with. I'm not going to say who the GOAT is, because if you're going to ask me, I got a whole different opinion because I grew up in the late 60s. Well, I grew up before that, but I mean, I was paying attention to the NBA in the late 60s, and I got to see it. Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and all them guys, actually playing, not looking up no videos or YouTube or anything of that nature. I got to see them play. So when you ask me about the GOAT, I got a whole different element. I got a whole different opinion. I think it's all about different eras. How can you really compare different eras? Just like when you have to compare cars. I bet you some people have special cars that were in the 70s or 80s. And even these cars nowadays probably can't compare, even though they're um, newer. They've had so many things added to the vehicles, and they probably run better, look better, and everything else feel better. And but people have their own, I guess, their own feedback of what it was like, and it's not going to change. Just like you have, if you ask people, most people who are, I would say, 50 and over, they're not going to say Michael Jordan. Those younger will definitely say Michael Jordan. So you got to go with that aspect as well. So if you're going to ask me who the GOAT is, I won't give you an honest answer because you may not like it. In my eyes, but I will say one of the most important people uh, was Oscar Robinson because what he did set the standard for all NBA players to follow. We talk about all these great players, but you know what? Again, I got to go back to my history where you got guys like Oscar Robinson, those guys. You know what I mean? There was no load management because if you try to load management, you'd be gone, you'd be cut. And the players back then didn't make that much money, but it was people like Oscar Robinson who set the standard for more pay, for better travel, for insurance purposes, health purposes. I mean, he is the front runner to establish that the players will be. He also taught, which probably is one of the most important things, was free agency. See, folks don't know Oscar Robinson is primarily responsible for free agency, and he stood his ground. Again, I'm gonna go back again, but 1961 there was an All-Star game at the Boston Garden, and all the players got together and said, "Oh, we can't have it." It was a nationally televised game, by the way. And Oscar Robinson stood his ground, and said, "Look, we can't have this. We can't be treating like this. We can't be going, and continuing to play without insurance. And you got hurt, you paid your medical bills back in them days." So anyway, what I'm saying is, also that particular game was the All-Star game, and of course, they stood their ground. I think there was 4 players who said they would play no matter what, but the other 2 players said, "No, okay, we're going to take a stand with you, Oscar." And the owners caved in, and right after that 1961 game, which would not have been played, by the way. So of course the owners were like, "Oh, what are we going to do?" The TV station, the sponsors, they're like, "What are we going to do?" Well, we better cave in, and they did, and therefore set the standard for all NBA players to follow. And I think that was one of the most important things. So if you want to talk about the GOAT as the greatest of all time as a player or as a component to what the NBA has now, because that was the beginning of free agency and so many things that developed afterwards, because he was like the very first. And then people slowly but surely learned from Oscar. And if you all heard about Connie Hawkins, you guys can read about Connie Hawkins, how he was banned from the NBA for certain reasons, but he ended up playing in the NBA because he brought it to the courts, and they won. And but he was past his prime in most regards. We never really got to see the original Connie Hawkins, who, if you look at his game, go back and look at YouTube, you will see that he was Dr. J before Dr. J. So uh, here's my boss. Here she is. What's going on, boss?
We might have to rock out together because I don't think your guest confirmed to come on, or the doctor. So she's not. She didn't come on. I sent the email.
Well, it is what it is. But I know we're gonna be on tonight, so I don't want to, give out too much information. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So
right, right. So I know you're gonna be talking basketball with Mike in the next. So you can pass some time away.
I guess I could do a little bit of time. But I was talking about Dr. Larkin, boss, and she has been involved with so many things. We talk about the mindset. Now, you as a coach, even though
Mhm.
you're dealing with the youngins, I mean, what do you think about that? Because right now, if you notice, a lot of colleges are hiring people just for that, dealing with the mindset performance, and everybody talks about getting in the best shape and all the physical part about it, but we don't talk about the mental part about it and how important that really is. And when you deal with youngins, that could be even more crucial as continuing to their growth.
Sorry, I'm outside walking. As you can tell, it's a nice day out here in Pennsylvania. It's about 72, so you hear the music and cars and everything. Um, but no, with the mental part is very important because nobody thinks about that. Just look at these professional athletes. It's hard. It's a lot of pressure for them to play professionally the way they do. Big contracts. They got to perform to the highest level. That's their job. You got to appease the fans, the owners, your coaches. So everything with a professionally, they got a lot of pressure. I even said that it should be somewhere in their contract where they have to talk to someone at least if it's not weekly or bi-weekly, at least once a month to let the get them to how they're feeling. Because we've seen a lot of athletes taking themselves out because there's something mental going on and we don't know. And I know y'all men are stubborn, but they got y'all have to talk. Y'all gotta talk. Um so but as far as the kids, the little guys I have, they are so they get emotional because they're afraid to make a mistake, or if they do make a mistake, they think it's the end of the world. No, 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 no. It's just a game. You make the mistake, you learn from it, we move on. Especially if the game involved and they lose and make a mistake. Oh God. So it's very important to get their mental together so they know now. So as they grow up, they know how to handle things. So the mental part of sports is very important, and I'm glad that people are now starting to take notice. Because before, back in the day, we ain't worried about the mental. You even went out there, you was physical, you had the strength and everything. That's what you did, and that's how you got paid. Now we got to go beyond that and see what you're thinking about and why you even doing this in the first place.
That's very true as well. But Dr. Larkin, man, she is doing something. She's in conjunction with the Boston Red Sox. So when she first came on my show, she was basically just starting out, and now she's expanding and her horizons. And I think it's just a great thing. And we had Mike Semmy on last week, and he spoke about it. And you hear, I we even had my man from the Temptations, Melvin Franklin Jr., speak about it. So obviously, it's an important factor, not just in sports, but in all surroundings in about way of life. Dealing with the mental. That's why we have so many suicides, and I don't want to get too deep, but that's why we have all that and the shootings and all that. It's the mental, and I think if we can do something to at least uh, promote a mindset performance and promote dealing with the mind and giving these people help if they need it, or any other shape that we can do to possibly help them out so they don't you know do that thing, that finality, I'll call where that be shooting someone else or shooting themselves, or what I mean. And then there was a situation where I guess, what was it TikTok or one of the things that what's his name runs X, and that one of the young women who were going on these damn sites and all that, how much of an effect it had on them as well. And she took them to court and won some money. And what do you think about? Let me ask you something. Since you're dealing with the youngins as well, they're talking about banning social media from kids ages 14 and under. Do you agree with that?
I'm not opposed to it because there's a lot of predators, especially on social media, when they thinking they talking to another, person their age, and then they get to go seeing people and come to find out, it's. a sexual predator or someone that's kidnapping. Sex trafficking and human trafficking is real.
It is
So
real. It's
um,
real.
I can't imagine having a daughter. I would be scared to death, but again, you got to let them live. But it's scary because you see white vans come around and stuff like that, and people get took. That's real. So um, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed of it. For them not to have it. It's just a lot. It's scary, especially with just social media stuff with the younger kids.
Now, um, before I take a break, before Mike Patton comes on, let you continue your walk. I wanted to do is ask you about this. This has been going on in the headlines. I know I primarily do basketball, and I don't really do much baseball. But there's something come up in social media. I know you. I think you know where I'm going with this. That has come up, and you cover every goddamn sport. You are an expert at every sport. But anyway, what I want to ask you is, there's a situation going on with Coach Vrabel of the Patriots and uh, a significant reporter who is well known, established, and it seems like maybe things were going on that probably weren't supposed to go on. My question to you is, if it's true, how would that affect this said reporter? And how does it look for the other reporters? And what is your take on that one? Before I let you go continue your work, I'm going to give you a good one.
This a whole mess. That's what I say. It's messy. And she was the one starting, and so now that we got the gist of the story, she the one going around starting this stuff about trading AJ Brown to the Patriots and AJ Brown this, AJ Brown that. Mike Vrabel was his coach in Tennessee, and that's,
Mhm.
in my opinion, that's just not a good look. And for Vrabel knew she was married, he guilty too. Like you just can't blame it all on both parties. Blame it on her because yes, she's married, and Mike should know she's married, and so why y'all dealing with each other if this is true? But I don't know. It might be. It's messy, but the media are gonna pick a topic and they're gonna run with it every day with it.
Oh,
I
yes,
know
that's
I'm
true.
just tired of having my team in the media every day when it's 31 other teams y'all can talk about, but y'all want to talk about my quarterback, y'all want to talk about the wide receiver, y'all want to talk about the team as a whole. There's 31 other teams in the NFL y'all can talk about every day. It's bad enough we got to talk about Joel Embiid every day because he can never when the playoff time comes, he's never available. Talking about he cursed. Oh, he's played through injuries during the playoffs. Oh, this, oh, that. He's done so much for the city. No, you haven't. Do you know why AI is still loved in the city? He put his heart and soul on the court every night. He played through injuries to the point where they didn't want him to play. They had to hide his shoes. And then
That's
when
true.
when remember the sports store Modell's? Modell's just was in. This is when Modell's is back in business. He used to send the trainers and the ball boys to Modell to get him a pair of shoes so he can play. That's how AI was. He did not want to play for nothing, and he called out the athletes today about load management. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yep, he was calling out the NBA players talking about load management. Now Joe Johnson, he had a comeback to that, and he was like, the game is much faster now. Um, it's hard for these guys to keep up. But my thing is, this is what you signed up for. This is what you signed up for. To play basketball as a career. You get paid millions of dollars. I
Yes.
don't care if it's back to backs, 3 games in a row. This is what you do. Go to work. Let me not go to work 60%. Guess where I'm gonna be at? Guess where I'm gonna be at? In my house on the couch. Homeless. Homeless because I can't get paid. What's up, Cass? Homeless because I can't get paid because I'm not doing my job. But but as far as what's her name? Diane is Di. I forget her last name. Diana and that Mike Rabel situation. That's messy.
What impact do you think that might have on her remaining as a reporter slash journalist? What effect do you think that would have on her?
Um, she got this I don't not say I don't care attitude to her. She knew she was married. If it's that bad, and let's just say she did step out on her husband, that's not a good look. And ESPN or whatever, if she's with ESPN or she's, just independent, independent, don't have, not tied to no labels, that's still not a good look. Nobody ain't gonna want to work with you.
The thing too is that she has a lot of insight. You know what I mean? And she may and access. She may not have that insight and access anymore to bring out the news, and maybe people are not going to trust her. And I don't know. I think it's going to be obviously it's a real shit if it's true. If it's true, I think it's going to be. I don't know. It's going to be like you said. It's a bad look on Rabel too because it takes two. So it's not just her; it's him as well. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a very interesting thing that's going on. We'll see what happens in the near future, but that's going to be interesting as well. Right now, I tell you what, I know we're going to be talking about the NBA tonight, so I don't want to, talk too much. But I think right now the NBA is exciting because we got the Western Conference, and who knows what's going on with that. We got the Eastern Conference with the Knicks up and down, left and right. Who knows what's going on? We got your Philly. Who knows? What's going on with them. And if Embiid's going to play, and I think if they do proceed in the playoffs, he can't do back to back. So we know that's going to be an issue, and how much that's going to affect Philly as well. So I don't know. I think it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I haven't been this excited in a long time because there's so many things that are going on in the NBA right now that I just think it's an exciting time. What do you think?
Look, depending on who we play, we may not even make it out the play-in.
I know. I know. I know. You know what, Key? I kind of feel bad for you. You know what I mean? You're a diehard Philly. I mean, you've gone through some things, man. You know what I mean? So,
It's been. Let's see. This last Sixers championship was '83. I wasn't thought of yet. I came the next year. We about due for one.
that would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. But I don't know. But I don't know. You as a Philly fan, I wonder how the other Philly fans are feeling right now. Not
They
just
feel they feel the same way. They should have said we should have been got rid of Embiid when he had value. But in all seriousness, when he's healthy and he's available, he's one of the best big men in the game.
there's no doubt about it. True.
But now he has to really take a look at how his body's breaking down, how he's constantly getting hurt, injured. He got to look at this long term. Because how long are you going to keep going through this?
Do you think because it seems to be a factor with the bigger men as opposed to the forwards and guards. Although lately we've had so many soft
You don't see
tissue
Jokic with this
injuries.
issue.
That
And Jokic is 7'3". He's on the bigger side too. So, but Embiid is just clumsy. I know what the bottom of his shoes look like. He's too damn big for his big ass to be falling. You are 7'3", 283. Why are you falling over the damn place?
I can't answer that, but only he knows. But again, I mean, you remember. I know you know it better than me. 2 words: the process. I know you know all about that. So,
That process is dead. It's been dead.
oh man, you know. Hey, but you're right. It's about 65 out here and 72 where you're at. Beautiful sunny day. So yeah, I know you're getting your exercise in. So you know, um,
What are we going? So when we can end this link. I'll make a new one for you and Mike. I'll send it out to him, and then we can go from there.
Sounds good to me, boss. All right, folks, we're gonna be tuning in again. We're gonna be kicking it off again at 7:30 with my man Mike Patton, who is well known for his reporting on the AFC South and the NFL. And boss, he told me he wanted to kick it with me with NBA. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, folks, he'll be on at 7:30. We're gonna see what he knows about the NBA.
Yeah, no, Mike's very versatile. Just because he strictly does AFC South, and he likes the Titans. But no, he's diverse in everything. So he wanted to talk some hoops with you. So it should be fun.
It should be very fun. So, folks, tune in tonight in about another hour. We're going to have a good time, me and my man, Mike Patton. So stay tuned. Take care. Boss, see you in a little bit. My bad.